Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyard. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Art Master, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Today we are going over one of our older, we are taking a look back at one of our older designs. One of the older ships that we did. One of the first ones in the series, in fact, the Excalibur-Class. And we aren't changing the stats any, but we will go over them again. But we're going to go over the lore and maybe touch it up a bit. As you might know, I've already typed up the Thomas Morone overview and cleaned it up a bit. I cleaned up the grammar. Ron will just provide his own notations, and he also has access to the doc, so he may adjust it as well. So, here we go. Overview, courtesy of Thomas Morone on Twitter, grammar cleaned up by me. By Takeshi Yamato, me. The Excalibur-Class Light Survey Cruiser, CLS, launched in 2382 as a bit of a compromise. Some in the Admiralty would have preferred replenishing the losses from the Dominion War with new Sovereign-class vessels, but their capability and complexity was delaying timely delivery of more units. The Starfleet Spacecraft Design Advisory Commission proposed target requirements for a new light cruiser that incorporated some modern elements of the Sovereign class, but at lower tonnage and with some reduced crew capacity and capability. In truth, Starfleet's force depletion from the Dominion War was more serious than most UFP politicians cared to admit, and Starfleet needed to field smaller units faster as a reaction to the smaller pool of trained officers and spacers on its rosters. The Excalibur proved to be in the best tradition of Starfleet's multi-role mission platform. Throughout the latter decades of the 24th century, Excalibur-class starships conducted frontier surveys, anti-piracy patrols, and dozens of other duties across the UFP. Perhaps due to the classic Constitution-class heritage for the Excalibur's general hull arrangement, the ship even featured in Starfleet recruiting ads and marketing materials for interactive holonovel dramatizations of Starfleet service. That last line is a reference to how the Excalibur was on day one cover art for Star Trek Online physical purchases. Obviously, the old design was not quite as good as this. This is a redesign, but yeah. Alright, Ron, go for it.
Well, I wouldn't change much of the lore, except for one thing. It's not just the Dominion War. All roads go back to stardate 44001.2.
Wolf 359.
Just as the Sovereign class was influenced by the Battle of Wolf 359, the class was very much in the latter stages of its design phase when the battle happened. And if you want to argue with me about that, I suggest you look at the USS Sovereign's registry code and compare it to the Defiance. Registry codes mean everything when it comes to dating a boat.
Yeah.
$11,000 people died, or worse, at Wolf 359. That's a lot of people. A lot of experience. Thousands of years of experience. All lost.
God.
Thanks to this. Thanks to Wolf 359.
Yeah.
And just like Wolf 359 influenced every single event that happened after, from Cardassia being Cardassia, to the formation of the Maquis, and finally, of course, everyone's favorite event, the Dominion War.
Yeah.
While the Dominion might be the public reason, let's not forget Wolf 359 wasn't exactly great.
Yeah.
In the intervening decades, the Excalibur-Class started petering off in production. This is due to one small fact: the introduction of the Exeter-Class.
Yes.
Now, let's not mince words here. The Excalibur is essentially a miniature sovereign. It does all the jobs while being smaller. But she's kind of restricted to the sovereign era of technology. And while the sovereign is still durable enough to serve even in the 25th century, Star Trek Picard, enough said.
Yeah.
A quantum leap in technology was experienced when the USS Voyager returned from the Delta Quadrant. And that influence kind of hit hard with the whole Odyssey era of design. The Exeter quickly entered production, and the Excalibur was put to the wayside. But let us not forget that this ship is one of the many saving graces of Starfleet. Alongside the Inquiry-Class, this is one of the ships that saved the Federation from being overrun with lawless pirates.
Yeah.
In fact, there are discussions of putting the ship back into production with some upgrades taken from the Exeter-Class, as well as thoughts of putting the old Vesper space frames back into service. This is, of course, a reference to the fact that Space Barbie is a thing in STL.
Yes. And you should, yes, you just pick a ship type. You can reskin it however you want. Choose a basic model, kit bash, whatever.
And that list is about to increase, at least for the Constitution class. I'm quite pleased about this. Because, via leaks, yes, I have been taking a look at the leaks. I'm too curious. I always am. A new Constitution variant will be included. The Shangri-La will be joining us with the 15th anniversary bundle.
Yes. Now, the question is, will this be an actual new boat? Or will we just get the skin?
I hope it's a whole new boat. And while I would like to have my hands on the Temporal Light Cruiser, well, 3 Connies are always better than 2.
Yeah. So, yeah. Now, let us quickly go over these stats. Just to show what just to basically remind you what this thing can do. Systems values are comms 10, computers 9, engines 10, sensors 9, structure 10, weapons 10. Department modifiers are 1 point each in security, engineering, and science. This thing is not a command vessel. This thing isn't really the best at being a command vessel. It is more a patrol ship and a Logi boat. Logi is life. And it's scale 4. It has phaser arrays, photon torpedoes, a strength 3 tractor beam, and it has improved warp drive and rugged design. And for descriptor trade, it has Federation Starship. And so, that is the Excalibur.
Suggested names, in case anyone's wondering, are related to mythical swords. Caliburn, Masamune, and the like.
Yes. And we might as well cover what mission profiles this thing can do. So, let's go over the list and we can decide what's good for this thing and what isn't. So, going down the Space Frame mission profiles list in Utopia Planitia alphabetical order. Battle Cruiser operational. Yeah, the battle cruiser profile. I think this thing could work as a battle cruiser.
Well, if you give her quantum torpedo, she's more than capable, but post-war, quantum torpedoes would be not exactly conducive to logistics. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Photons are easier to make, photons are easier to field.
Yeah.
And if someone is to be believed, they can easily be converted into transphasic torpedoes based on Voyager. Though I'm of the opinion those were just Class 8 probes with new warheads. I mean,
yeah.
Class 8 probes are easy to make. It's the warheads that are a bitch.
Yeah. Next up is Civilian Merchant Marine.
Really? Do we really have to say it?
Probably not. Yeah, I'd say that's a no. Colony support. Crisis and emergency response. I mean,
that's what you would go for.
Huh.
I mean, she is essentially designed to go out there, get things done as quickly as humanly possible. She was essentially designed to be the new Miranda.
Yeah.
Without being as crappy as the Miranda.
Yeah. That said, crisis and emergency response is primarily a medical profile, and this thing doesn't really have too many medical focuses. Entertainment and pleasure ship. Hey, what?
If you have a hammer, if you need a hammer but don't have a hammer, use a pipe. This thing has a sick bay. It'll do. Not recommended.
Yep. Entertainment pleasure ship. No. Espionage intelligence.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It would depend on if you could fit this thing with a cloaking device, which there's enough room for talents. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, and even if you don't give it a cloaking device, there is a slim sensor silhouette talent which provide in the talent list, which it does provide some degree of stealth. Flagship.
Maybe
this thing is not.
Maybe for frigate and destroyer squadrons.
Yeah, maybe, but again, it goes somewhat against the modifiers. It doesn't have any command modifiers, so this thing could cover a lot of these profiles, but
it would be somewhat gimped.
Yeah. Logistical quartermaster. This one would definitely work. That said, the profile has a 1 in security and science, so you would have security 2 and science 2 thanks to the modifiers. But this would definitely work in the Logi role. Multi-role explorer is kind of a given. That's just sort of your generic bread and butter profile. 2s and everything. Pathfinder and reconnaissance operations. Maybe.
In a pinch.
Yep. Patrol.
Yeah. She's definitely capable.
Yep. Reserve fleet.
That's iffy, depending on the era.
Yeah. Depending on the mission profile itself says reserve fleet vessels are often older vessels that have been taken off duty and equipped as standby vessels in case of disasters, both natural and manufactured.
Maybe STO era if some of the ships were just considered surplus to requirements, but too valuable to scrap.
Yeah. Scientific and survey operations. I could definitely see it there.
It is a Starfleet ship.
Yep, and it does have +1 science and +1 engineering. And the profile there has 3 science, 3 engineering. Strategic and diplomatic operations. Again, it can do it, but
She wouldn't be
not really
suited for it.
Yeah.
Maybe in a pinch, but that's pretty much this ship in a nutshell. Pretty much in a pinch.
Yeah. The last 3 profiles would definitely fit this thing. Tactical operations. Oh yeah. This thing would definitely fit as a tactical vessel. And technical testbed. I could definitely see these things being used as test beds for new tech. And lastly, warship.
While she would certainly be nerfed in that configuration, after all, she is a Starfleet vessel, and Starfleet vessels are not designed for out-and-out war.
Most of them, anyway.
Cough, cough, go-kart, go die.
Fair enough.
Yes, I despise the Defiant. Let's move on.
Yes. Anyway, the warship profile would work for the Excalibur. 3 security, 3 engineering, +1 for the modifiers, 4 security and 4 engineering. This thing, its science capabilities would suffer a bit, but a warship profile Excalibur would be a tank.
You will die. So don't bother.
Yeah. So that is our revised look at the Excalibur-Class.
Just as an aside, I'm beginning to really get sick of the Sovereign-style starships. This is due to the fact that people keep trying to shove them in my face.
For him to model. And
I'm getting a little sick of seeing Sovereign-style ships, especially Fannin boats. The Sovereign is not the be-all, end-all of the 25th, 24th, or 25th centuries. It's just another step in the road, just like the Odyssey. And while I am quite eager to see what happens after the Odyssey,
yeah.
That's the Excalibur. Now,
Yeah.
depending, we may have more boats, because more boats have been given reskins.
Yes, more boats have been given reskins. And I definitely would like to give those a look-see. But you'll have to wait on those. This one is being uploaded today alongside the Vesper, the Connie 2, and the Exeter. But we have quite a bit of backlog.
Yes, which I've been skimping on. That's going to be stopping.
Yes, we're going to be getting back to regular uploads of this. And eventually we will cover the new models. We will cover the new reskins.
And the new boats that are re-entering STO. 15th anniversary bundle.
Yes.
I'm excited. Sue me.
I'm excited a bit too, but I don't show it quite as much.
Bye-bye.